Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video, and today we're talking about Canon's newest 50mm f1.8 STM lens, or as it used to be known, the Nifty 50 or the Plastic Fantastic. Now, this lens takes the spot of the old EF 51.8 that I have here, and if you were to look at them, they actually look extremely similar. They feel the same, they almost weigh the same. I think the biggest difference is the old one used to be $125, the new one is $200. But you got to remember that you can't just put the old lens on the new cameras, you have to buy an adapter. And when you factor that in, all of a sudden that becomes more expensive. And I should add, bigger, right? Because you're adding an adapter plus weight. Anyways, we'll do a comparison next time, so I'll put this lens up. I picked up this lens 2 weeks ago and I've used it now a few times, so I have an idea of how it performs. Obviously, this is not a full review, this is more of a first impressions. And unlike my previous videos, this is gonna be a little different because this lens has caught me off guard and it's my fault. Before we get into that, before we get into my rants or my thoughts, whatever you wanna call it, like all my previous videos, I'll be putting up pictures as I'm talking that I've taken with this lens. I will also include them down below for you to download if you wanna pixel peep and check them out yourself. So let's get started. Let's get started with the expectations I set for this lens. I'm gonna say unrealistic expectations and how I was disappointed. If you've seen my previous videos, I've said that the RF lenses are the best lenses in the market, and I stand by that statement. I've also said Canon's budget-friendly options perform and punch outside of their weight class. They have IS, they're sharp wide open, they have macro capabilities. And because of that, I've been extremely impressed with what Canon's done. So when they announced the RF 51.8 at $200, I expected it to get the RF treatment, modern lens design, modern lens coatings. And that's where this lens has completely disappointed me, and it's all my fault for having the expectations so high. This lens is $200. This is the cheapest RF lens in the market. And at $200, it's a pretty good lens, right? It's supposed to be an entry-level lens. It's supposed to be a lens you pick up as a kit, you pick up as you're learning photography, and it does that well. So why am I disappointed? I mean, at 1.8, it's not sharp, it's soft, kind of like the previous EF version. At 1.8, you have tons of chromatic aberrations if you're shooting backlit, just like the old EF version. If the sun hits the lens directly, you lose all the contrast, just like the old EF lens. So what I'm getting at is this lens performs very similar to the old EF counterpart, just in an RF mount. And obviously, I was expecting it to kind of get redesigned. And that's where my disappointment comes in. Not necessarily because it's a terrible lens or even a bad lens. My expectations for it were too high, right? And I've struggled making this video. I've actually filmed this like 10 to 15 times, so I can't get the right words out. Because even though I'm not in love with this lens, hell, even though I don't think I like this lens, I can't necessarily trash it or bash it because it deserves a spot in the lineup, right? It's an affordable, fast prime that I think every photographer should have. What I mean by that is some photographers like shooting with a 24 to 70, 70 to 200, right? Like having kind of that zoom trio. And I personally think that you need a kind of fast aperture prime in your bag just in case, right? In case you need to go to 1.8 because you do let in more light, you do have shallower depth of field. I also think it's a good backup lens, right? In case another lens malfunctions, you kind of have it in the bag. Most importantly for me, it's a lens that I don't mind taking places where I don't want to take expensive gear, right? So with my RF 51.2, obviously I'll take it to every wedding, I'll take it to every paid gig. But when it's a personal thing, I won't take it to certain places. I don't want to damage the lens. It's my money maker, right? It's my go-to lens. I can't break it. So a lot of the times when it's for personal work, the lens stays behind just because I'm scared of breaking a $2,200 lens. Having this lens in my bag, I can take it anywhere because if I break this lens, I know it's only $200. It's easy to replace and it won't cost an arm and leg. That's where I really enjoyed the EF 1.8. I use this with my old Canon film bodies. And I'll throw it in the back of my car. I'll take it everywhere. I don't mind taking it just to random places or if it gets a little wet because it's an affordable lens I can replace. So it has its spot. And those are my initial thoughts. Again, different video, right? I'm not as enthusiastic about this lens. The next video I'm really excited for because I'm going to be comparing these two together. And I'm willing to bet, and I haven't seen anything online, but I'm willing to bet they are pretty identical as far as performance goes. We'll see, right? That's going to be kind of an interesting comparison. I'll be filming that this week. And then for my next video after that, I will be filming the RF 1.8 versus the 1.2. Like I said, my favorite lens to kind of show the big difference. And I have a feeling this is going to be a blowout in that comparison. But guys, those are the next videos. So if you're into that, as always, please like this video. Please support the channel. Please subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or if you use this lens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Always love reading and responding to all of them. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.